I ain't gonna lie, bro. The Ravens are pissing me off. And I'll say this: Lamar Jackson, no excuses now. No excuses, bro. Because you got a damn good roster. One of the best rosters in the NFL. So if you're that guy that they say that you are, get it done this season. It is Super Bowl or bust. You got Jaire Alexander. You got Malachi Starks, Kyle Hamilton, Marlon Humphrey. That is by far the best secondary in the league. You have a phenomenal run defense, man. And you got Mike Green, who is a top 17, top 15 talent in the first round. Y'all got him in the second round. How y'all do that? I don't know how y'all did it, but y'all did it. He had the off-field issues, but regardless, I was surprised he dropped that low to y'all. That's a steal. And so Lamar, offensively, you got the best tight end tandem in the NFL by a long shot. Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely. You got Derrick Henry, a first ballot Hall of Famer. Zay Flowers, an emerging star. And you got Rashad Bateman coming off a career year as the wide receiver too. It's no excuses, brother. We talk all this talk about the Eagles. They got a super team. We're going to talk about that because I find it funny that with the Eagles, they're a super team until we individually rate these players. Now Devontae sucks. Now AJ sucks. Now Jalen Hurts isn't top 10. Now Jalen Carter is an 87 overall in Madden. And y'all got Deron Bland and Stephon Diggs over this man. But, hey, this is a super team, bruh. Zach Bond, I get laughed at when I say he's the best defensive player in the game. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. All right, cool. Coop and Quinion, oh, these guys are young. I'm just saying, bro, how come when we rate these guys, I saw Quinion wasn't even in top 10 cornerback talks. Like, all right, bro, cool. Just keep that same energy when you talk about the entire team. And so, again, when this goes back to Jaire Alexander to the Ravens are Super Bowl or bust. They have a phenomenal roster. And if everything shapes up to what it should be, yes, they should end up having the best defense, if not top 3 in the league next year. They should be legit, bro. They should be legit. And if Lamar builds off what he did last season, having his best year in the regular season, yeah, they should be that team. And I'll say this. I'll be fair, bro. I'll be fair. The Ravens are the one team that if they came out the AFC, I would have still had the Eagles beating them, but I would have been petrified. I said before the Super Bowl, I'm not scared of no Chiefs. Now, the Ravens, yeah. The reason why is because if the Ravens got to the Super Bowl, they're beating either Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. Or one of those guys. They're going to beat one of those guys. And so if Lamar Jackson beats Mahomes or Allen, he got it. He flipped that switch. He ain't do that yet. He lost to Allen, and we ain't seen him. But if the Ravens somehow flip that switch and the Eagles meet them in the Super Bowl, it's going to be an all-time game. It's going to be a phenomenal game. And, man, I'm going to look at this and be like, ooh, them palms going to get sweaty. I still got my team. I still got my city. But the Ravens, if they get to the bowl, that's the one team that I'm like, oh, woo. If they actually lock in, they're going to be a hard team to beat. And that's just keeping it a buck. And again, did I want Jaire Alexander? Yes. But because he went to the Ravens, I got to trust Kelee Ringo. And I do. Look, just because I wanted Jaire Alexander to come to Philly doesn't mean I think less of Kelee Ringo. All it meant was I see a guy in Jaire Alexander who is a multiple-time All-Pro guy. He's a top 3 to 5 cornerback in the game. And the only issue is that he is not healthy. But if he's healthy, we know what he does on the field. With Kelee Ringo, I have hope, I have optimism, but I don't have this same level of production compared to a multiple-time All-Pro guy. That's just the pure facts. Now, could Keely Ringo be that guy? Could he be one of the Georgia Philadelphia Bulldogs that goes crazy and just shows us, yeah, you just pick the best freaking team in college and pick their best players and draft those guys. It's that freaking simple. That could very well happen. And I hope and I think it will happen. But there is something to be said about knowing about a proven guy that's been there and done that you can go ahead and trade for him, or you can go ahead and acquire him as a free agent when his stock is extremely low. So it's cool. It's cool though. I mean, look, again, Ravens, it is Super Bowl or bust for y'all. But I was pissed off. They pissed me off on that. I talked about this in the mailbag, but my mic was kind of messing up. And so I was like, I need to say this again. But the most underrated guy in the Eagles organization is Vic Fangio. No question. He is so valuable because you don't have to worry about him getting a head coaching position. And he's an all-time great defensive mind in the NFL. This works wonders for an Eagles defensive team that is extremely young. You got to think about this, bro. Jordan Davis never had a coach on the level of Vic Fangio in his career. He started off with Jonathan Gannon, who was trying to be a head coach. Then he got Sean Desai. It was his first year as a defensive coordinator. And then he had Matt Patricia, the worst defensive coordinator, the worst defensive mind, in my opinion, of all time. He's a Bill Belichick merchant. And so now he has stability. Now he has a guy in Vic Fangio that he's not afraid to talk to Sirianni or talk to Harry Roseman. He's strong-willed. He been here. He got 40 years of experience. And so when you got these young guys like a Quinion, a Coop, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Jalen Hunt, all of these phenomenal young players on this Eagles defensive team, and you look at them and say, you're going to be being coached by Vic Fangio for the foreseeable future, because nobody is going to be hiring Vic Fangio as their coach. It did not work out in Denver, and ultimately that was the nail in the coffin there. And again, a lot of coordinators are very, very good defensively. They are very, very good offensively, but as a head coach, they simply are not it. And Vic Fangio, he's older. He's from the PA area, the Philly area. And he's saying to himself, why would I try to be a coach? Like, when I'm back at home, I've been wanting to be here. Like, it made the most sense. So I think that Vic Fangio, given all of that, makes him the most underrated and the most valuable guy in the Eagles franchise. And last thing on that is that with Vic Fangio, you're able to then bet on your young guys who are on cheaper contracts rather than retaining proven guys that are older vets like a Josh Sweat or a Milton Williams or Hassan Reddick. You can move off those guys knowing that you have a excellent defensive coordinator that's going to unlock Mora Jomo, that's going to get Jalen Carter to that next level, that's going to get Nolan Smith to that next level, is going to be able to unlock the full potential of Jordan Davis and to be able to coach the best rookie cornerback duo of all time in Coop and Quinion Mitchell. That is amazing, and Vic Fangio needs his flowers for what he has been doing for this Eagles squad. I'm going to talk about this foolishness I saw. It was foolishness, flat out foolishness. We got people in Philly saying Jalen Hurts is not a top 11 player for the city. Part of me thinks to myself, y'all gotta be trolling and doing this on purpose to make Jalen Hurts have more fuel to his fire, because that's my only rationale. Now, if you're a Cowboys fan, a Commanders fan, a bum-ass Giants fan, I get why you hating. There's nothing for you to do. You're not winning no championship. Look, bruh, you got spanked in the NFC chip by 30 points. I could see why you got the Commanders fans saying JD5 is over Hurts. I understand that. But I cannot understand Philly people still doubting Hurts. It doesn't make sense to me. And again, it doesn't make sense, but the only thing I can rationalize and say people are trolling and they're rage baiting. And maybe they think if I just criticize Hurts a little bit, that might actually bring more fuel to his fire. I best believe, bro. Hurts hears all this stuff. He hears all this stuff. He hears the doubters, the Chris Sims of the world, and guys that just say, like, oh, you're not this guy. I got Herb, I got Stroud, etc. Bro, it's corny. It's corny. It's overplayed out, and it's just like, come on, bro. Another thing too, I might have touched on it before, but I find it funny that the Eagles are a super team until you want to individually rate players. Like, you say that AJ Brown isn't top 5. All right. CD clears. Okay. You say Devontae Smith isn't top 12, top 15 wide receiver. All right. Jalen Carter for the Madden, he's an 87 overall. Do y'all see that Jalen Carter is actually rated under Deron Bland, Stephon Diggs? Do you know how crazy that sounds? Jalen Carter on Madden is rated lower than Deron Bland and Stephon Diggs. And y'all want to tell me that this Eagles team is a super team. When I name Zach Bond and say that he deserved Defensive Player of the Year, and I'm looked at as being crazy, don't say no super team then. If you say my quarterback ain't top 10, I don't want to hear about no super team. If you want to say Lane Johnson, he's old, Cam Jurgens isn't a top 10 center in the league, I don't want to hear nothing, bro. And if you say that my goddamn head coach is not a top 5, top 10 coach, I ain't trying to hear no super team, bro. You're going to be pissed off. I'm up right now, and I'm telling y'all right now, keep that same freaking energy. Mom, I know you be watching, so I'm not going to cuss, but they pissed me off today. Because we're not doing this stuff, man. And I know people going to talk, and y'all going to tell me, hey, Angel, don't get riled up. They just be talking, bro. But God damn it, y'all be freaking pissing me off, bro. Play on my team, bro. Real rap. Real rap. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Like, comment, subscribe. You got me riled up on a Wednesday afternoon. Stop playing my squad, man.